Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to discuss the 1978 film The Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter stars Robert De Niro, John Cazale, Christopher Walken, Meryl Streep, and John Savage, and was directed by Michael Cimino. The Deer Hunter started out as a screenplay titled The Man Who Came to Play, about Russian roulette in Las Vegas. Producer on the film Michael Dealey bought the screenplay and then hired Michael Cimino, who, along with Derek Washburn, took the Russian roulette element and placed it in the Vietnam War. The film would end up being the first Vietnam War film that came out after the Vietnam War. Filming began on June 20th, 1977, with an initial budget of $8.5 million. There were discussions about shooting on the backlot, but it was decided that the material demanded more realism. The cast and crew will watch countless news reports of the Vietnam War in order to make the film as authentic as possible. Filming took place in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Washington, Ohio, and Thailand. The wedding scenes were shot at the St. Theodosius Russian Orthodox Cathedral in Cleveland, Ohio. Filming at the cathedral took 5 days. The extras in the scenes were amateurs, and they ended up drinking real alcohol on set. The extras were also told to bring gift wrap boxes as stand-ins for presents. When filming wrapped, however, the crew discovered that the boxes contained actual gifts inside. The wedding scene was originally supposed to take up 21 minutes of the film. The final running time of the wedding scene ended up being 51 minutes. By the time filming had wrapped down the wedding scene, the film had already gone over budget. The bar in the film was constructed on an empty storefront, which ended up costing $25,000. The storefront ended up becoming an actual bar for local steel mill workers. The scenes at the steel mill were filmed at the actual Cleveland steel mill, after production secured a $5 million insurance policy. The scene depicting a deer being shot was achieved by hitting the deer with a tranquilizer dart. The deer shown on screen was a red deer instead of a white-tailed buck native to Pennsylvania where the film takes place. The second deer that Michael lets escape was later used in commercials for the Hartford. The Russian roulette scenes were shot on the River Kwai. Production had difficulty finding a local to play the individual who runs the game. The first actor hired was incapable of slapping Robert De Niro in the face. They then found a local Thai man who held a particular dislike for Americans, and he was cast in the role. De Niro suggested that Walken be slapped by one of the guards without being told. The reaction from Walken was genuine. During the scene where De Niro points John Cazale's gun at him, De Niro requested that a live round be in the chamber. Cazale agreed without protest, but still rechecked the gun before every take to make sure the live round was not the next one in the chamber. The final scene in the gambling den was improvised with only basic directions from Cimino. The Deer Hunter premiered on December 8, 1978 in Los Angeles and New York. Upon release, The Deer Hunter gained controversy through its depiction of the Vietnamese using Russian roulette, as there were no accounts of this ever happening in Vietnam. Cimino argued that his film was not posturing for any particular point of view. Cimino still stated, however, that he had newspaper clippings from Singapore that proves that Russian roulette was used in the Vietnam War, without any physical proof. 3 months after The Deer Hunter had its premiere, actor John Cazale succumbed to cancer, making The Deer Hunter his final film. The Deer Hunter received critical praise upon release, who considered it on par with Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. At the 1979 Oscars, The Deer Hunter won 5 Oscars, including Best Picture.